All right, everybody, well done. Now let's talk about printing the comments. Sometimes I want to see them on the printout. Maybe I want to see them just like they show up on the worksheet here. But in this case, that comment is kind of hiding some of my other cells. So I'm just going to touch its border, and I'm going to maybe move it over here. Notice it's got a connector line over there to the cell that it's attached to. And maybe I don't want to see it all the time. I want to talk about the printing as a separate thing. So I'm going to unchoose the part about show all the comments. That way it only shows up on screen when I hover over it. But now let's talk about the printing of the comments. Maybe I want to put in a couple more here. So the pay rate, I'm going to put a comment on that cell. New comment. And I'm going to say, give everybody a raise. I wish it was that easy, by the way, that I could just type that in there and that would happen. I could invoke it like that. So I can see that I got comments on a couple of different cells here. Right now they're only showing when I hover because I've told it not to show all the comments. But now let's talk about printing the comments. So the printing stuff happens in the backstage view, meaning I have to click on the word file. Then I'm down here to the print stuff. So print active sheets. Do I want things collated, margins, scaling? Nothing really in there about the comments just yet. And I'm not seeing any comments in here just yet, nor do I see the little red markers that suggest that I've made a comment about the location here. Now if I go to page 2, there's the other stuff that's not fitting on the sheet. So maybe I want to turn it to landscape orientation so I can kind of see maybe all of those things at once somewhere along the way. Looks like that still wasn't quite enough to get everything on there that I want to see, but I am able to get all the columns in from left to right. But I don't see anything about the comments just yet. So that's a separate setting about the comments. I'm going to go down here and click on Page Setup. And in this dialog window, we have several different tabs up here. Stuff about the margins, stuff about the header and footer, stuff about the sheets themselves, including stuff about do I want to see the comments. It's here under the Page Setup group in the Sheet tab. So right now it says you're not going to see any comments, and that's why I'm not seeing any right now. But if I click here where it says none, I could say, well, show the comments as they are displayed on the sheet. And so now I'm going to choose OK as far as the page setup. And so far I'm not seeing them because they're displayed in the printout the same way they're displayed on the sheet. But I told it on the sheet, don't display them. So yeah, that's what I've got so far. So let's see how these things work together. I'm going to step out of the backstage view. I'm going to say, all right, show all the comments here. Then when I go back to my file and print, now I can actually see what they will look like in the printout. They're displayed on the printout the same way they're displayed on the sheet. Okay, so that's how those things work together. There was also another thing in there that you might have noticed. Page setup, sheet tab, comments. Maybe I want to print them at the end of the sheet. Let's see what that might look like. So I'm going to OK that. Right now I don't see them on the screen. Here I am going to page 2. There's the rest of the records. And then there's a new page 3 here that have the comments. And they say what cell they're attached to and what the comment was and who wrote the comment and that kind of stuff. It puts it on maybe a separate worksheet, but it did put it at the end of the sheet instead of printing it the way it was displayed on the sheet. So I'd like you to try all those combinations there. So before you go to the backstage view, decide do you want to show all the comments on the screen or not in the regular display, and maybe tell it, yeah, show all of those, so that when you go to the File tab and click on Print, at first it won't necessarily show them until you go to Page Setup, and then tell it how to handle that stuff under the Sheet tab. Do you want it as displayed on the sheet and OK? All right, that's what it'll print like. Or you can say, I want to put them at the end of the worksheet, and that was here, and display them at the end of the sheet, which might actually make a third page to put them on. And so I want you to play with those things. So put the video on pause, go check out how the comments and showing the comments hooks up with how you print the comments.